Every few years, this headline comes back. CPP won't be there for you. Young Canadians won't get a pension. CPP is going bankrupt. And it's understandable why people worry. We hear about aging populations, market crashes, and pension problems in other countries. But here's the real question. Is Canada Pension Plan actually in danger, or is this one of the most understood parts of Canadian retirement planning? Because the answer might surprise you, and it's very different from what's happening in places like the US. Stay with me because near the end of this video, I'll explain why CPP is actually structured to survive problems that have already broken other pension systems. Before we go any further, we need to clear up one big misconception. Canada Pension Plan is not like a personal investment account. It's not a savings account, and it's not a typical government program funded year to year. CPP is a joint federal-provincial pension system with legally required contributions, automatic adjustment mechanisms, and one of the largest investment funds in the world. And that structure matters, and it's the reason why the phrase CPP going bankrupt doesn't really apply the way people think it does. So what do the actuaries actually say about CPP? Every 3 years, the Office of the Chief Actuary reviews Canada Pension Plan's finances. In the most recent actuarial report released in December 2025, that conclusion was very clear. CPP is on solid financial footing and sustainable for at least the next 75 years under current contribution rates. That includes the original CPP and the enhanced CPP that started in 2019. In fact, the actuaries found that Canadians are currently contributing more than the minimum required to keep CPP stable long term. That's important because it means there's already a built-in cushion, but demographics do matter, so let's talk about that next. There's no denying that Canada is aging. In the 1960s, there was almost 8 workers per retiree. Today, it's closer to 3 to 1, and that ratio will keep shrinking. Normally, that's bad news for pensions, but CPP was re-engineered in the 1990s specifically for this problem. Here's the key distinction. CPP is partially pre-funded, not purely pay-as-you-go. That means that today's contribution rates don't just pay today's retirees, they're also invested for future retirees. So as contributions eventually fall short of benefit payments, which is expected to happen around 2030, CPP doesn't panic. It simply uses a portion of its investment earnings, and that's where the real strength of Canada Pension Plan shows up. CPP contributions that aren't immediately needed are invested by the Canada Pension Plan Investment Board, or CPPIB, and the growth has been massive. So in the early 2000s, there was approximately 67 billion. In 2024, there was over 630 billion, and by 2050, it's expected to have over $4 trillion. What's even more interesting is that their investment returns have outperformed the assumptions used by actuaries, meaning the fund is actually ahead of schedule. By mid-century, nearly half of all CPP revenue is expected to come from investment income, not worker contributions. This is the part that most people miss. CPP isn't just collecting money, it's compounding it in the background. Here's where the comparison matters. In the United States, they rely on Social Security, which is a mostly pay-as-you-go system. And that system is projected to run out of reserves in the early 2030s, triggering automatic benefit reductions if nothing changes. In the UK, they have the UK state pension, which has no massive investment fund. Instead, they adjust by raising retirement ages, increasing taxes, and changing benefit formulas. Canada already did its hard reform back in 1997. CPP also has automatic stabilizers. If contributions ever fall short of what's needed, the law forces adjustments, either higher contributions or temporary indexing pauses. That means CPP cannot silently drift into insolvency. So are there real risks? Yes, and we should be honest about them. Things like prolonged market returns, longer life expectancies, political disruptions, and economic shocks could all impact the future returns of the Canada Pension Plan Investment Board. But here's the difference. These risks trigger gradual corrections, not collapse. The Canada Pension Plan is reviewed constantly, adjustments happen early, and the assumptions used are deliberately conservative. That's why every major actuarial review keeps reaching the same conclusion. So here's the bottom line. CPP is not going bankrupt. It's not on the verge of running out of money, and it's not really comparable to other struggling pension systems elsewhere. It's one of the most carefully designed public pension systems in the world, precisely because Canada confronted many of these issues decades ago. Now, it's not perfect, it requires diligence, there are risks, but it is built to adapt. If you found this helpful, consider subscribing. I break down Canadian retirement and tax topics without the hype. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.